Happy Friday and welcome to another new makeup releases where another big brand is closing its door and Colourpop is celebrating 10 years with free eyeshadow. If this is the first new makeup releases you're watching, welcome. Every Friday for the past 5, 6, 7 years, I come back here and I talk about the new makeup releases, all the things that have been released, announced, and sneak peeked, some industry news that have been going on that caught my eye, and we just chat about whether or not we want to pick it up, whether or not we're interested, whether or not we're absolutely not buying it. Down in the comments, I love hearing your thoughts. I'll put everything that I'm talking about down in the description box in case you're interested in picking up any of these things, or if you just want to click around and read up a little bit more. I'm extra excited because today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. I have been such a big fan of HelloFresh for years and years and years. I actually discovered HelloFresh myself in 2020 when me and my husband started doing HelloFresh because we felt like we were doing a little bit too much takeout and we needed to cook a little bit more at home. And for us, the cooking part isn't really the part that we're trying to avoid or the part that we really never get to. It is the grocery shopping. Who knew being an adult is all about planning what to eat and then just repeating that every day? Forever. With HelloFresh, all you have to do is log into the website or the app, look at all the different options that they have, pick out whatever you think looks the best. And one of the things that I really love with HelloFresh is that they will offer different meals with different proteins. Say there's something that you really love and you don't want to have it with chicken. Maybe you want to have vegetarian like me and my husband. Maybe you love this dish but you want to try it with a different protein. They have so many different recipes to choose from, and also it's very flexible where you can swap out a protein for something else, just making it perfect for you. And every week there's over 45 different recipes to choose from, plus even more things in the marketplace for like breakfast and dessert and snacks. So for me, there's never been a problem finding stuff that I want to eat. I always find stuff that I think sounds super delicious. And what I really like about HelloFresh as well is that they are very easy to save for the day after. Even though it's only me and my husband, we usually do meals for 4 people and then we just save it for the day after. HelloFresh is as delicious on day 2 as it is on the first day as you're cooking it. And this will save you a lot of money in not eating out or buying really expensive lunch options when you're at work and you just really need to eat something. So why would we order takeout or go out to eat when we can get restaurant quality meals at home? They also have a lot of options. There are very fast options where you can pick recipes and they're marked to be on the table in 20 minutes, which is awesome. I also try to include 1 or 2 of those because sometimes you remember that you want to eat and you want to eat now, because sometimes a lengthy cooking process just isn't an option and you just need to eat as quick as possible. And once you've picked your meals with HelloFresh, they get delivered to your doorstep, all pre-portioned ingredients, which means less food waste as well. I will say we're pretty good at never throwing away food, but with HelloFresh it makes it even easier because, you know, sometimes recipes will have a little bit of that and a little bit of that and you just end up having a lot of wasted stuff or just stuff sitting in your fridge, stuff sitting in your pantry that you just don't really know what to do with. With HelloFresh, you use everything that you get and it just means less food waste. So go to hellofresh.com and use the code Agnieszka Sweet for free desserts for life. That is 1 dessert item per box while the subscription is active. That is code Agnieszka Sweet at hellofresh.com for free desserts for life. And this is actually the first time that I've tried desserts from HelloFresh myself. We got some key lime pie and some strawberry cheesecake, and I gotta tell you, these were absolutely delicious. I'm all about treats and I'm all about adding desserts to my menu. Anything that can make like everyday life just seems a little sweeter. And this is definitely something to make your everyday life a little sweeter. So thank you so much HelloFresh for sponsoring the beginning part of this video. Let's jump into the new makeup releases. I did film this look. I did film it for my member exclusive tutorial for this month. It's gonna be live this weekend. I got a suggestion if I could try a new eyeshadow technique, if I could do something that I don't normally do. So I actually did a technique that I have actually never ever done before. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this look, that is gonna be live this weekend. I actually did use some of the new single shadows from Oden side that released this week. So let me scoochie and we can talk about those first. I actually had some extra time last week, so I was able to pre-film and whip up a video swatching, doing a swatch party with all of these new eyeshadows that have been released from Oden side. They released 42 new single eyeshadows. They also released some new palettes. They look like this, cardboard palettes with some really pretty print on them. These are available now. You can use a code and you can get some money off. They have different bundle options and stuff as well. I will leave a link to the website down below. I haven't checked in to see if anything has sold out or not, but usually Oden is one of those brands that has a little bit more stock, so they usually keep their things in stock a little bit longer. So if you were interested in this release, I would definitely recommend you to check out the video that I had on Tuesday with some more information about like the shadows and swatches and all of those things, what the different formulas are. And that is what I am wearing on my eyes today. I decided to do a second look for YouTube. I'm wearing some of the matte purple, the matte blue, and also one of the darker multi-chromes, very sparkly and beautiful on my eyes, plus one in my inner corner. I'm actually really excited about this look. And if you're not a member and you want to join my membership, you can always read about it. It's either in the description box or there is a button. There's both a link in the description box and there is a button next to the subscription button. Sometimes you can't see the button depending on what device you're on or what web browser you're using, and then you can always use the link in the description box in case you want to read up, in case you're interested in some old school tutorials, because that is what my membership is mainly about. Another thing that is available now is the collaboration between Adept and Amy Loves Makeup. This one launched, I think, was it yesterday? I think this one launched... When did it launch? Wednesday, maybe. I'm filming this on a Thursday. I haven't checked in here either if it's sold out or not, but I'm just so excited for Amy. I did do some swatches on my Instagram for this one, and I have filmed the look. I just haven't had time to edit it yet. Maybe I'll have time to fix that today and I can get it up. But it's such a beautiful palette. If you love cool tones, if you love pinks, I'm sure you would really enjoy this palette. So I just wanted to let you know that that one is available now as well. A while ago, we talked about the new celebrity brand by Bella Hadid that is called Orebella. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly because she's having a very funky spelling of it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna call it Orebella, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying that correctly. She's releasing fragrances. She did trademark quite a bunch of different things, and I think one of the misconceptions sometimes that is with trademarking is that people think that all the things you trademark are things you're gonna release, and usually it's more like covering your bases, especially if you're a celebrity. If you're gonna release a brand, you basically trademark everything so that somebody doesn't come in and swoop up something that you didn't trademark and just write the tailcoats of your like brand and your branding basically as a celebrity. So she's releasing a fragrance brand, but that doesn't mean that she won't be releasing other stuff in the future as well. But she's coming up with 3 different fragrances, and it is the Blooming Fire, which is bergamot, patchouli, and manoi. And then there is the Window to Soul, which is rose, jasmine, and tonka bean. And then there is the one that I'm like, that actually sounds a little yummy. And it is the Salted Muse. It is olive tree. That sounds delicious. I love the scent of olive tree, cedar wood, and sea salt. I won't blind buy this, and I'm pretty sure this is going to sell out quickly because I've heard the marketing behind this launch has been amazing. But cedarwood sometimes takes over for me, so I don't like a scent that's too cedarwood forward. This, I feel, the fragrance bottles is what I think Charlotte Tilbury was going for. It is that almost nod back to the 90s, but this one is in an elevated way, and the way that I felt like it was with the Charlotte Tilbury was more almost in a juvenile, like Hot Topic kind of a way, which I didn't felt as exclusive as the brand Charlotte Tilbury is claiming to be, especially with the price tag. And I usually like Charlotte Tilbury, I just did not like that packaging at all. And with this packaging, I actually think it looks really nice. It almost looks like little eggs, and I think the polished gold is really cool. I like the different colors that they've chosen, and it also comes in travel sprays that has a similar vibe to this. Like the travel spray still has this specific bottle, just a little bit more like rectangular instead of like oval like this. And I gotta say, I think that this is a good job with the bottles. I think that these look cute. This would look very cute laying on your counter or laying in your bathroom or having on your vanity. So I think that the bottles are really cute. I know little to nothing about Bella Hadid. I'm gonna be honest, I know little to nothing about Bella Hadid. I know she's a supermodel. Okay, story time with Angie. Story time with Angie. Back in the days when I was modeling, I was in LA for 3 months, and we were just, I don't know, promoting. It was wild times. The reason why I didn't go through with any of it is because the manager I had at the time was, I could write a book, let me put it like that. But we got invited to Muhammad Hadid, her dad, who is one of the richest men in the world. We got invited to his house for dinner. So I've actually been to his house for dinner, and it is a beautiful house. He had swans in the parking lot, which was crazy. He was super polite, and he was just having us for dinner, a big group. It was just not me. We were not on a one-on-one dinner. There was nothing romantic about this at all. But I remember later on, when I realized that people were so excited about Gigi and Bella Hadid, I'm like, wait, I met their dad. So yeah, fun story time with Angie. I've actually been at Muhammad Hadid's house for dinner. It was lovely. It was Lebanese food and I absolutely loved it. And he was very polite. And I will say, if I see these in store and they're not sold out and I like the Salted Muse, I think I might buy it. I think it's really cute. Let's talk about the Colourpop releases. I don't know if, maybe now we can go in because it has released. The new stuff has released. They're releasing a Precious Metals collection. Okay, this is the actual picture. Let me save this one so I can use, so that's what you're seeing here. It is the Precious Metals collection. It has a new big palette and it also has some new of those jelly matte shadows. This time it is in pure metal shades. And this is just like the golds, the silvers, the pewters, the bronze, the rose gold. They're having all, it's a metal theme. I mean, I think you got that from the name. You can use a code if you want to order from Colourpop. I'm going to use my own code and I'm going to buy this. I will say I have a package coming in tomorrow that might be Colourpop. And if it is Colourpop, I'm not going to purchase this, of course. But if it's not Colourpop, I'm going to buy this myself. I've told you. I'm going to review everything from Colourpop this year. And I am actually plotting and planning. I've saved up a couple of things. I had some people ask me, when can you do something with like drugstore makeup again? So I'm going to be doing a What's New at the Drugstore. It's a series that I'm doing on my channel every time I've selected enough interesting things that are more affordable. And I'm going to be actually including this palette because I think that like Colourpop is at least at the drugstore section at Ulta and it is affordable and usually the eyeshadow quality is pretty good. So I will be including this palette in that video and of course I'm going to be trying it. I told you I'm trying everything from Colourpop this year, this one included. I will not be picking up all the colors of the Yelly Much because there's really no need for me to pick up all of them. I'll probably pick one shade to try, maybe a silver because I feel like that could be really nice and that you can use as like accents as well. I feel like that could be cool. So I might pick up the silver one. Also right now, Colourpop, like I said in the beginning, is celebrating 10 years. So when you make an order at Colourpop, you will be getting their 10th birthday Super Shock Shadow. Every year on their birthday, Colourpop releases a limited edition Super Shock Shadow and you will get it as a free gift with purchase while supplies last right now with Colourpop. So if you're wanting this, I think they described it as a silver with lavender, blue, purpley specks in it. So if you were looking for that one, you will get it free with purchase right now with Colourpop. So if you do buy this new palette and they still have stock of the shadow, you'll get one for free. And I don't think that this offer is at Ulta. I think that this might only be at colourpop.com. Let's talk about two things that I bought today. One of them is actually this new concealer by Refy. I say Refy sometimes and then Refy. Is it Refy or Refy? I think it is Refy. Watch me say Refy next time. This is the Brightening and Blurring Serum Concealer with plant-derived squalene. It's a high-rating brightening and blurring concealer that applies like a serum and has light to medium coverage to even out for a natural glow. I like a concealer doesn't have full coverage. I know I'm pretty much alone in my corner. Every time I say that, my creator friends are literally like, I like a concealer that doesn't have a full coverage. And this one says that it applies like a serum, which tells me that it's going to be a little bit more liquidy, which usually is very forgiving for under eyes that has a little bit more crinkles and wrinkles like I do. So I was intrigued by this one. I did pick this one up and I actually bought that new Kayali fragrance that we talked about last week. And what else did I buy? I bought something more as well. Oh, I actually bought one of the Kosas lip liners. Listen. We'll see if this one is better than last time. I feel like the reason they're re-releasing it is because they fixed the problem. Although I also felt like they should have fixed the problems with the bronzer when they re-released them, but I'm not 100% sure I felt like they did that. But apparently that's what I'm doing. Actually, let's talk about this first. Another thing that I wanted to buy was the new, because these are up on Sephora right now, and these are the new Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Lowlighters. Oh my god, the name is so long. Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Lowlighter Soft Glow Highlighter. That must have been a doozy to trademark. Anyways, these are the new highlighters from the Danessa Myricks in the putty formula. They are up on Sephora, but they hadn't been released yet. I think they are being released beginning of next week, and I want to pick up one of these as well. But if you wanted to check them out, I will leave a link to it down below in case you want to see the different colors more up close, because I am very intrigued by this release and I definitely want to buy it. The other thing that I did buy, and I I actually pre-ordered this one on Amazon. I will leave a link to that down below in case you want to find it. I had to look a little bit. But this is the new liquid blushes by L'Oreal. Everyone is releasing liquid blushes. These are being delivered in June. So if you don't want to pre-order, if you want to wait for a review, I'm just letting you know I did buy one of these. I'm gonna be trying it out when it gets to me in June, and I will let you know if I think that these are any good. I also did buy those new liquid blushes, bronzes, whatever they were from Maybelline. Bought that as well, and that I will be including in the next testing new, like what's new at a drugstore video. But this one came in 6 different colors on Amazon, and it has 3 colors without shimmer and 3 colors with shimmer. Clearly I got the coral with shimmer. What do you... That is like the lowest odds ever. Clearly I got that one, but I'm intrigued to be trying out. It is $12.38, which is drugstore prices are... I know people are saying like, oh, drugstore prices are getting up there. I'm like, drugstore prices are getting to be like Sweden prices. I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at you catching up. Because I was actually talking about the NYX powder the other day, and I was saying in a video, when was that? Oh, that was in Monday's video. I was talking about that I actually prefer the NYX powder over the new Hourglass powder, and so many people were asking me which powder was this, and it is the NYX Pressed HD powder. I have it in the shade Banana. I love it. I've been using it for years, and that's what I'm actually having today. I actually do prefer it to the Hourglass one, and it's so affordable. And I said like, oh my god, I probably paid $15 for it in Sweden, and then I went and looked to see how much it was in the US, and this one is $12 in the US now. I feel like it used to be much less. So yeah, prices are getting to be like Sweden prices. So welcome. I don't know, there's nothing to be happy about, but I've started to notice that for sure. Something else that is available that a lot of people were very interested in, and if you were that person, I'm just letting you know right now, the new Luminous Shield... I really think I need a shot. Luminous Silk Cheek Tints. They are coming also May 5th. Just so you know, in case you're interested in these are the liquid blushes. I will say the colors look delicious. I really like the shade range of these colors. There's like a pale saturated pink. There is a really warm, yummy coral. There's this almost like aubergine plum. And then there is this like wearable red that just like is screaming my name. This is one of those where I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to go and swatch it. I feel like you could probably swatch this at a Neiman, right? Where is this coming? Oh, it's coming to Sephora May 5th. I wonder if I can swatch it at Sephora. I wouldn't blind buy this. This is one of those things, it's too expensive. Same as that Dior highlighter that I bought, that I also talked about in Monday's video. Beautiful. I didn't want to blind buy it though, but I did buy it after swatching it. So I think I want to swatch one of these. And if I swatch them and I like them and I pick them up, of course I'll let you know how I feel about it. But I know a bunch of people were super excited about this. I mean, I don't blame you. We all have our favorite brands. Kasha Beauty is releasing a Love Blurring Lip Balm. I feel like lip balms, both in the squeezy tubes and also in these kind of sticks, they've been really hitting the market hard these past like 12 months. They are as popular. Lip oils and lip balms and like squeeze, like those kind of like balmy lip oiling, caring lip caring products with color. They're as popular now as I remember the matte liquid lipsticks being back in the day, 2015, 16. And it's crazy to see that just every brand under the sun is releasing at least one of these. Some will release even more. And it's just very interesting. This says that it is a semi-matte one, which is not really my journey, but I'm intrigued by this. Will I be buying it? No, but it is fascinating to see how it just still keeps trickling in. And I wonder, when will it... Because the pendulum always swings in another direction. People get tired of stuff. They want to see something new. And then there's a couple of brands that just release something new that is good and people get excited. I'm surprised that the Lip Velvets by ABH didn't get more hype than they did, because it's a great formula, but also because it is something new. But maybe people were still not tired of the lip balm, lip oil kind of a look. But it's going to be exciting to see when it swings back, what it swings to, like what's going to be the next trend. There's also something new coming from WhatsApp Beauty. I do know what this is. There's a new collection coming. It is coming on May 10th. I don't want to ruin it for the brand because I don't think that they have announced it yet. Let me actually go and double check. No, they have not announced it. They have basically just said like something is coming and it's coming May 10th. I do know what it is. They sent me some pictures of it and they were going to send it out as PR. So I will try it out and let you know. It looks really, really pretty though. And I'm excited to see what this is. It's coming May 10th at 11 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST. So if this is one of the brands that you're really excited about, keep your eye open. We'll talk about it again next week because we should know then what it is. I mean, I know, but I should be able to tell you. Another indie brand that had a new release is Gloss Gods, and they had their Let's Get Nude palette. This one was live, I think, yesterday. They're releasing a new nude palette for the summer. It seems to be more sandy tones. There's a couple of special shades in there. There's also seems to be some more like rosy, almost plummy shades in there. This is a kind of a palette that a lot of people love. More peachy, sandy, kind of a neutral shades, and Gloss Gods has a really nice formula. You can use my code and you can get some money off when you're ordering from them. I saw that a bunch of you actually did that. I think they're sending this palette to me because they asked me for my new address. So if I get it, I'll try it out and I'll let you know. But I will say, and I've said this before, if you're living in the EU and you think it's really hard sometimes to get a hold of those indie brands that are in the US, a lot of them are being sold at Monolith though, so do check out Monolith. But I will say Gloss Gods is a Swedish-based indie brand. So if you wanted to try some special shades, they do have a lot of multi-chromes and all shimmer palettes, definitely check them out. They have a lot of fun things, especially if you want to avoid really expensive like custom charges and stuff like that. We've also seen a sneak peek from Ensley Rain. They are apparently releasing something that's called Cosmic Dreamer. This is what they're showing right now. I have no idea what this is, but I'm super excited to see what it is. I will say though, and I will say that about this, and I will say that about like a couple of okay, I'm not making sense. I love indie brands. I'm always rooting for indie brands. I'm always hoping that they will succeed, that they will have good releases, because I know that like a good release for an indie brand owner could mean that like they get to go on vacation that year. A good release for an indie brand owner could mean that she's not worried about feeding her kids for a bit, that she's able maybe to buy that thing that has been broken, because it means so much more usually for an indie brand owner than it does for like a big conglomerate. With that being said, there is too many things being released right now, and you've probably seen that as well with how people like me review indie makeup right now and review brands overall. It's impossible to do dedicated videos on releases, and since there are so many things coming out, not only is it impossible for me to do dedicated videos on everything, because I would literally be doing a dedicated indie review every day of the week. I do not have time for that, and also you're not interested in that. So right now a lot of people are starting to do the concept that I started with, I think last year, which is basically I take a bunch of releases and I have them in the same video, just like 4 releases, 1 video, because otherwise there's no way we can keep up with reviewing stuff, because I think that most people would kind of agree that you prefer us to at least review the stuff, because otherwise we're gonna have to pick and choose, and we're gonna choose the brands that gets the most views probably, or the releases that we are the most interested in, and some things are just not going to be touched at all. And that's also going to again affect some indie brand owners, where I'm like, if I could only show this, some people would look at this and be like, oh, this is my perfect release. Because just because it's not my perfect release doesn't mean that it's not your perfect release, the thing that you've been waiting for. And sometimes, just as I said, it's hard for me to keep up with releases, I can only imagine how hard it is for you to keep up with releases. I mean, this is my job and I feel overwhelmed. So I do wish, and I say this just as someone who is seeing how everything is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I do wish that some brands would focus on making fewer releases really amazing instead of just releasing something every month, because it is gonna, I think they're gonna kill their own business doing that. It's gonna be too much. Nobody can keep up when you have so many brands that are so good. They're releasing so many things every month. Some people are just going to get tired and just buy nothing. So I really wish the industry would just, the indie makeup industry would just realize that sometimes it's too much. It really is. With that being said, I don't know why I brought that up with Ensley Rain, because I do think that they're it was a couple of months since they had their last release. And I will say Ensley Rain definitely releases a lot too, but there are some brands that maybe I'm like, if you would just put a little bit more focus in making that one release perfect instead of releasing 20 quick things. But also I don't know the back end of things, so what do I know? Because we also have a new release coming from, I think it's Dieverune or Dieverune. Dieverune? I don't know. And I feel like this brand just launched, and this is the third palette they're already going to be releasing. I think this is a palette because they're referring to their other palettes. And I'm like, that's a lot. That is a lot. And I know how long it takes to work on things. I've done a couple of collabs. I'm working on my own brand. I cannot even imagine releasing 3 palettes in the span of a couple of months. I don't even know how that happens. So sometimes I'm like, it's a lot. I don't know what to say other than that. I get overwhelmed, so I can only imagine how overwhelmed some others are. Speaking of indie brands, let me actually show you some things that has been recently announced, and I wanted to show you what it looks like. One of them is actually that I got a palette from Klarity Cosmetics. I've never ever received any PR from them, and I have never tried the brand, but this is their new Forbidden Love palette. So they sent this one over, and I haven't had time to do anything with this whatsoever because, like I said, it's sometimes a little bit overwhelming with everything, but this is what the palette looks like. I really am enjoying the addition of the lower row here. I think that these shades look really pretty. This is a cool tone palette that's pretty blue heavy, and I love a blue palette for sure. I think that's really nice. This one is really interesting because it looks like a satin. Love him and leave him. But yeah, I really like these 2 blue shades here. I think that's a good addition, but I haven't tried the formula at all. Some of you were saying that you love Klarity. Some of you were saying that you didn't love the formula. So I'm intrigued to see how I feel about it. But yeah, this is the first time that I've ever like held a Klarity Cosmetics palette in my hands. I think this palette is available now. I know some of my friends have codes, so do try to see if you can find a code if you want to order from them so you can get some money off. And then we have Attack on Titan. This is the newest collaboration between Game Beauty and Attack on Titan. I had never seen this show or game. When I googled this, it showed that it was a video game, and then a lot of you were telling me, honestly, a lot of you were telling me in not a so very nice way. Can we just, again, etiquette online? When you are being rude to people online, they are not that interested in talking to you. When you try to tell people online, a lot of commentators come off very rude, and I just will not be answering you. But I will say, for those people who were being rude about that, Attack on Titan is a show, an anime show, and it is also a game, so I was not incorrect. Can you tell that I get annoyed by this? But sometimes the rude comments do get to me, especially when they're wrong. I'm like, please, can we not? But they are releasing this collab. I will say Game Beauty is one brand that I actually really respect the release, how they release stuff. They have like 2, maybe 3 releases a year. They had those really beautiful monochromatic palettes the last release, and now they're releasing this collection, and it is so pretty. It is 4, I think, either lip glosses or like glossy tints, and then there are 3 little quads. Let me see if I can get one up. And I'm guessing these are based on different characters. This is Rose. Like I said, I have not myself watched this, but there are 4 quads in this one. Hopefully I have some kind of a picture here. And this is one of the quads. It's like green and coral, and it is a... What was the other? Do I need to show you? This is Maria. This is the blue and yellow, and this is a yellow with a blue duochrome. I can see that when looking at the shadow in the pan. I think this last one is called Sina. And this is the one where I was like, oh, because look at this. Orange, yellow, and then a dark brown. This looks so fun. This looks so fun. And in the orange, I can see a lot of like gold specks and like shimmer into it. Oh, that looks so pretty. So yeah, those are the quads. And then there are 4 shades that are like they come in a component like this. It also has a character. This one is called Mikasa. Or Mishasa. No, Mikasa, I think. And it is a glossy tint. There are one more reddish, one a peachy beige, and then there are two like more lighter shades, like a peachy nude shade. So I think that this collection, I mean, the collector box looks beautiful. And this is the back of the box. It's really, really beautiful. Oh, it says lip gloss. So it's Maria, Rose, Sina, Aaron, Levi, Mikasa, Armin. I think that they did a good job with this collection. It looks beautiful. I hope it's the same great quality that they had in their monochromatic palettes that they came up with last. I'm excited. And yeah, this is, I respect how they release products because they don't release too much too often. And every time they release something, it looks really nice. So I'm very excited about that, honestly. I will be doing something with this. I just haven't had time to dig into it. We talked about last week that Hourglass was releasing a quad with powders, and now they are releasing 2 new ambient lighting palettes. They say they're limited edition. I have heard that the single powders from Hourglass are being discontinued. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm guessing maybe they're going to bring out more palettes instead. Maybe that's what people want. Maybe that's what people are buying. I had one of these palettes from Hourglass, but I decluttered it because I forgot to use it. So I have realized that face palettes, they're just not for me. They're great for me to bring when traveling, but usually I will bring something smaller. I will bring something smaller than this. And I think Hourglass powders are really good. They're just not my end all be all powders. It's not my favorite of all favorites. I'm surprised to see them release limited edition face palettes now. They usually always do that for the holiday, but I'm guessing they're releasing even more for the holiday then. But they're all existing shades, or like not existing shades then because of what I just said, but they're re-releases. All of these shades are shades that they have released from before. So if you own a lot of Hourglass, you probably own this. I was shocked when I saw this picture. This picture truly, it does something to your mind. You look at this and you're like, it's so much. But this is Plouise, and she is releasing loose powder with the poof, which is the delivery system that I am fairly sure very few people were asking for. I just do not understand why that's how we're like. Why is that to be preferred over just a powder blush in a pan that you just use a brush with, and you can be a little bit more specific? Because like with these poofers, like you can't, in theory, some of these products are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But let me tell you, it doesn't really make sense once you go in to use it. So I don't understand that at all. And it is 20 shades, 20 shades of blush. First of all, that is an impressive amount of shades, I will say. That must be pretty expensive, honestly, to produce. I'm very impressed with that. That probably tells you how much Plouise is selling on TikTok Shop, if nothing else. But I look at this and I'm like, are you trying to tell me that there was none of these shades that could have been cut? None of these shades that you're holding them next to each other. It's like one of those, you know, they give you a bunch of samples and they're like, which ones are your favorite? And Plouise was like, yes. And the factory is like, who? And Plouise is like, all of them. I'm doing all of them. Because some of these pinks, some of these peaches, some of these reds, they're so similar that it feels like some of them could have been cut. This probably could have been 12 shades. Right? This is probably already available on their website. Can you tell the confusion? I'm just so confused. I just don't understand why it's a poof. I don't understand why there's so many shades. There's a lot of things I don't understand. This was on Trend Mood, and I usually don't report on stuff that's like not beauty, but when I saw this, I feel like my stomach like turned. This is Chupa Chups, is that what you say, like the lollipops, in collaboration with High Smile, which is like a mouth health brand, I'm guessing. They're doing toothpaste. I have realized since moving to the US that in the US, sometimes toothpaste doesn't come just in a mint flavor. And that might have changed in Sweden too. And I'm just talking about like my experience. For me, there has never, ever been another option than mint toothpaste. Nothing has ever been offered to me but mint, unless it's kids toothpaste. So for me, if I were to wash and brush my teeth with anything else that's something that is a little minty, I would feel like I needed to brush my teeth after brushing my teeth. So this comes in, it's a cola, like a Coca-Cola flavor, strawberry cream, and choco vanilla. So like a chocolate vanilla. Are we okay? The thought of me putting strawberry cream toothpaste to clean my teeth and feel like my mouth is fresh, it is actually revolting to me. I don't have words to describe how disgusting that is to me, but I will say, I have heard some people say like, hey, actually there is a reason why some toothpaste do not have mint in them. It's because some people just cannot do mint, and I totally get that. For me, nothing else than mint will make my mouth feel fresh. And I think that's probably because I've only ever used mint in toothpaste. So for me, that is the correlation, because like you brush your teeth, there's a minty feeling. But I cannot get around brushing my teeth with Coca-Cola toothpaste. That is an alternate universe that I just do not want to be a part of. For me. Again, I totally realize there are people that are like, I cannot do mint toothpaste, and I'm so happy there are options. Does the option have to be chocolate vanilla? What would the option be? What would make my mouth feel fresh? That is not mint, spearmint, eucalyptus. Like, what would that be? Interesting. I guess Gisou is having huge success with their lip oils because they are coming out with even more flavors and even more scents. And is it flavors? Because when I smelled the lip oil, I felt like the lip oil was just, it didn't smell like anything. But maybe these new, the ones that have like a color to them, maybe they actually do smell like the thing they're supposed to be. Maybe that's the case. The one that is like marbled here is Tutti Frutti. Then there is a caramel pretzel, which is okay. There is a pina colada. I love that. Wild rose, which is, I don't want that in my lip products. And then it is a mocha fudge. So coffee? Do you remember the coffee lip glosses from Bite Beauty? Oh, those broke the internet. Those were so great. When is that coming back? I can't believe Bite Beauty did not re-release those when they needed a little bit of influx in money to the brand, because those were great. These are coming soon and coming to Sephora. I think some people that are just diehard Gisou fans are going to be really happy about this. And I really like the look of that marble one. I think that's a really fun idea. Speaking of lip treatments and how popular they are, Laneige is also coming out with 2 new colors and 2 new scents or flavors or whatever we want to call them in their squeezy tubes, which is the glowy balm. So they're coming out with blueberry and they're coming out with mango. I am sure these are going to be beautiful. These have a little bit of a tint to them, so I'm wondering if the blueberry is going to be a little bit purple. I'm looking at the swatch and it's very sheerly pigmented, but I'm guessing the blueberry is going to be like a little purple or like a cool tone, maybe blue tint to it. I think people would really appreciate that. I love stuff that smells like mango though. I don't need more stuff like this. I need new glowy hydrating lip products like I need a hole in my head. But wait, there's more. The Inky List has decided to also come out with these kind of lip treatments in a squeezy tube. I'm telling you, I feel like we are now living in a time where as soon as a brand gets a hit with something, every brand wants to do that too. So now every brand is doing the lip treatment with color in a squeezy tube. And this is the... Apparently the internet went wild over their tripeptide plumping lip balm last year, and now they are coming back with color. So there's going to be 3 different colors, pink, some kind of a red, and some kind of a brown. Oh, they call it berry. If you love this, I guess that's great. I want to... Where's the innovation? Where's the individuality? Like, what is this? Please, make it stop. There is a collaboration between Bubble and Disney's Pixar's Inside Out 2. I have actually used Bubble before. It is a skincare brand that has like a pretty like a no-nonsense approach to skincare. It is fairly affordable. You can find it at Ulta, and all the things that I tried from them had pretty like straightforward, this is what it's for, and it also has no fragrance. So if you're looking for something that is straight to the chase, like there's nothing, like they're not going a roundabout way about like what this is going to do for you, no scent at a fairly affordable price, I do think Bubble could be for you. So I will leave a link to Bubble down below where you can find it. I have tried some of their stuff. It's a definitely good product. I just prefer something that is scented. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And they're doing a collab with Inside Out 2. There's going to be some makeup bags and some different products that just has the characters on it. I think it looks cute. I mean, I don't mind that at all. And if you like the brand or if you want to try the brand, maybe this could be the time. I think it's a fairly cute collab, and I also kind of like that they're not coming out with it doesn't seem at least like they're coming out with a limited edition skincare thing for this collab, that they're just doing fun packaging. I mean, I'm not going to get it, but I don't hate it. Thought this was very interesting. Profusion, which is already a very affordable makeup brand that you can find at Walmart, for example, they have a sister brand that is called Color Spell, and it is now available at Dollar General. I honestly think that this is a really great idea. Profusion is one of the few brands that are still very affordable in the US, and for them to come out with a sister brand that is going to be at Dollar General, and I'm guessing also it's going to be at a very affordable price, I think that is great. Make somewhat decent makeup available for everyone. Of course, you're not going to get like fancy packaging, and you're probably not going to get like multi-chromes and duochromes, but still, like, I like this approach a lot. I don't know if I have a Dollar General close to me. I'm gonna be honest, and this is probably where a bit of my privilege is showing, but I don't know if I've been into one. Do you think I should go? Do you think I should go in and look? But I think this is a great idea. I think the products seem pretty cute. It seems like they have some eyeshadow palettes, press-on nails, some blushes, they have some eyeshadow crayons. I think this is really cute, and I just wanted to let you know in case you were looking for maybe a new brand to try, or just a new, I'm guessing, very affordable brand. This is a release that I saw and I'm like, wait, this is kind of interesting. This is from Eyeshadow Cosmetics, and they are releasing the remastered dual-ended pencils. Is creamy rich shades, smudge proof, waterproof, blah 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 blah. It says pencils. I'm guessing this is like the Makeup Forever pencils, or what other pencils? I know Morphe had pencils as well. That was basically like, it's a pencil, you use it where you want to use it. I'm guessing that's what it is. I think that's really interesting. Some of these shades look really cute, and it is dual-ended, so it's like 2 shades. I don't hate it. I think that's pretty smart. NARS is re-releasing their 2019 limited edition Voyager Suede eyeshadow palette. And if you like more cool tone browns, more neutral leaning browns, this seems to be a really good option. It has 3 mattes, a dark, a light, and a mid-tone, and then it has 3 shimmers, 2 more mid-tone, 1 rosy, 1 gold, and then a darker one. If you like an all-in-one compassing palette, you don't want to do the frills with whatever's going on this clown face, and you like more cool tone shades but you don't want grays, I honestly think that this is a great way to go about it, and I think it's really smart of NARS to re-release this now when people are so into cool tones. I was so surprised when I saw this, because I was like, are you still here? I feel a little mean, but like, are you still here? This is from Inglot. Inglot is releasing blushes and bronzers. I kind of forgot they existed. I feel a little bad, but it's like, at least they're releasing stuff. It seems cute, but like, wow, I really forgot Inglot existed. I don't even know if they have any stores any longer here, and I really don't know where they're being sold anymore. Who used to carry Inglot? Maybe they have an online store. Honestly, I have no idea. Inglot is a Polish brand though, so if you're in Europe, it's probably a little bit more readily available. I know they used to have stores in Sweden, but I think they had to close down. I feel Inglot is one of those brands that just really did not keep up with the times. And maybe this is a good way for me to segment into the last things that I wanted to talk about, which is that we have some more closings of brands. One brand that I just quickly want to say is that JD Glow had to close their brand because they were being sued. I think they were being wrongfully sued, if I'm gonna be honest, and they decided to just close the shop and open it as another one, and they opened instead as Her Artistry. But now they're closing that one too, and they are saying we are closing for a number of reasons, the main reason being a substantial decline in sales revenue. I want to make a video about this, and I think I'm gonna have that next week. I want to have a video about like where the makeup industry seems to be right now and why some brands are growing even though the beauty industry in sales actually has never been bigger. And I know we say like, oh, people are buying less, people are not buying as much. Actually, the numbers don't lie, and the makeup industry, the beauty industry has never made as much money as it did in 2023. 2023 is still their biggest year yet. It's growing every year, so we might think that like it's slowing down, but it's actually not. I just think the focus has moved a bit, and I feel like some brands have not realized that success one day does not mean success the next day, and sometimes you do need to keep up. And I am so sorry to see them go, but I feel like JD Glow or then Her Artistry was one of those brands that was so, I mean, I used to love JD Glow when I started out. In 2015, 2016, I bought everything they released. I made dedicated videos on JD Glow. I loved JD Glow, but they didn't keep up with the times. They didn't do things that people were looking to buy right then. Like, they had some really great products that they discontinued or stopped doing, and there were probably a reason for that, but some brands I think are not keeping up with the times, and unfortunately I think JD Glow was one of them. And then we have another brand, which is, do you remember skincare brand Boscia? They're closing. And I read an article about this, and I will leave the entire article down below in case you want to read this as well, because I thought it was very, very interesting. Boscia was so popular back in the 2015, 16, 17 era with the charcoal mask that they had. Everyone was talking about that mask, and I'm guessing they had so many sales. But the thing that happened, again, and they are even admitting it themselves, competition is harsh, and they were not keeping up. And a lot of the things that they did, which was natural ingredients and airtight pumps and stuff like that, now a lot of brands do, and they were not able to find something else to separate them from the crowds. So Boscia themselves are saying that like it's a big market out there, there are so many competitors, so easy to get lost, and if you don't have a clear voice, if you don't have something specific that your brand does or that your brand stands for, to make people come back to your brand, to be loyal to your brand, because that is one of the things that is very different in the makeup like community now than it was maybe back in the 80s, 90s, probably early 2000s as well, and that is brand loyalty. People are more willing than before to try a new brand or to have a makeup bag that consists of several different brands. As of before, some people were very loyal to the one brand and would buy a lot of stuff from that brand consistently. But there are so many brands out there right now. So again, I've said this before, and I am literally a broken record at this point. This is not going to be the last brand to go. And I think also when people, I'm going to say this in a way, I hope it doesn't come off as like condescending to when people are speculating. You know, a lot of people will do the rise and fall of different brands. That's not the brands that are here to fail. The brands that are going to fail is brands like this one, Boscia. You hadn't even heard of this brand in a bit. It's going to be brands that you forgot about. That's going to be the brands that go away because there's a reason that nobody is talking about them anymore, and it's because nobody is buying from them. So I think that sometimes we forget some brands, and that is exactly the reason why they end up just going under, because they are not putting their mark in the industry anymore, so people are not choosing their products over the millions of others that are out there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having an amazing Friday. Don't forget to check the description box for more info. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for coming back and sponsoring another video on my channel. I am such a big HelloFresh fan. I'm so happy and so grateful. If you like the video, please leave a comment, leave a like. That really helps the creator out. And if you are not ready to go yet, if you want to see something else, the algorithm is showing you something here on the side that they think is going to be right for you. If you gotta go, and I will see you again very soon in a new video. Bye!